My name is Rotem. I'm originally from Israel and also Agamon, originally an Israeli company. Now I'm in New York, living here for the past 2 years and expanding our business from Israel to the US. A little bit about my background. So it's more in law and finance. I was a lawyer for a short period of time and then a financial advisor for startups who were going public in London mainly, an MBA from Columbia University, and now co-founder and COO and CBO of Agamon. So without further ado, let's start. So we're a healthcare intelligence platform, and you'll understand what that means in a second. So basically, today, when you go to a doctor, your doctor diagnoses you on the cases that he's seen in his life, cases that he's been studying in med school, and these are smart people, of course, and we trust them with this diagnosis, but it is based on a fairly limited database. In the future, this is all going to change, and most of us know this. We're on the verge of the AI revolution and everything, including healthcare. And basically, the doctor is still going to be there. You're probably still going to communicate in one way or another with a human doctor, but his diagnosis or her diagnosis would be based on big data and would be facilitated with AI. And instead of being based on hundreds or thousands of cases, it's going to be based on millions of cases. But for all of this to happen, we must release data into the world. Same goes for the pharmaceutical industry. So today, drugs go to market based on clinical trials that have been made on hundreds, maybe thousands of people. And that's how the industry has been operating for the past few years or decades. And that also is going to change in the very near future. From drug discovery to targeting for clinical trials through post-marketing surveillance, everything is going to be much more based on big data, AI, and what we call real-world evidence or real-world data. And again, in order for this wonderful thing to happen, we must release data into the world. And fortunately enough, digital data is expanding in an exponential rate. And we can see that by 2020, it's expected to be an astronomical amount of data. And that's due to a lot of good things that have been happening in the past few years. The adoption of EMRs, meaningful use here in the US that has basically made doctors and hospitals use digitized information in a much more larger scale than what they've had done previously. So data is growing, and all of this data can be used for all the great things that I previously mentioned. But the problem is that data silos are stopping the healthcare industry from really unleashing the power of big data, and I'll explain in a second what I mean. So in the past year and a half almost now, here in Agamon, we've been talking to a lot of healthcare innovators, machine learning companies, pharmaceutical companies, and we've been asking them about their data challenges and how they want to use data and what's preventing them of really making the best and the most of the data that they can get. And across the board, what we've been hearing is that access to data is super hard, and it takes somewhere between several months to sometimes even years to finding the right institute, to finding the right person in that institute, negotiating, anonymizing, creating this whole process. It just takes so long until they actually get to the data that they need. Just for an example, if we're talking about a machine learning company, we all know that in radiology this is booming now. So companies that are trying to do computer vision and to diagnose, breast cancer on mammograms. So they need millions of data points, millions of mammograms in order to be able to train their models. And what we've been hearing is that access to this data is just very cumbersome. And why is that? Well, that's because this data is, like I said before, siloed within these different databases. And each one of these healthcare providers, the hospitals, the HMOs, it's its own database. Sharing the data is not something that is done on a daily basis. And the people inside these organizations, they don't have the time, the resources, or the expertise to really make this data available in a scalable way. So I kind of touched upon this, but just to summarize, so access to data today, if you're a machine learning company and you want access to billions of mammograms, that's a very time-consuming process. Like I said, anywhere between several months to several years of getting access to quality data and exactly what you need to train your algorithms. It's expensive, again, because time is money, but also the whole negotiation process and the lawyers and this whole cumbersome process is just very expensive, not to mention the cost of the data itself. And the retrieval of data is still done very manually still today. Add on top of that the fact that 80% of healthcare data is in an unstructured format. So I'm talking about records, labs, voice, reports, images. All of this data is in an unstructured format. And basically, even after you've spent several months of getting access to data, you need to spend several more months to clean that data and to make that data ready, available, and structured for your analysis. Something, again, very time consuming. Another layer on top of this problem is the regulatory landscape. This is not a real problem, right? This is something we all want to happen. We want our medical data to be secure and private, and both under HIPAA here in the US and under GDPR in the EU, the only way that hospitals and providers can commercialize and share the data, the medical data, is by anonymizing it and being at a very high level of certainty that the data is anonymous. That's the only way that they can set this data free for research and development purposes. So here comes the opportunity. So far we've been talking about the challenges about access to data, and here is the opportunity, and this is basically our solution. This is what Agamon does. So on the one side, we partner with healthcare organizations, hospitals, HMOs, and we help them structure their unstructured data. And then internally, they can analyze that data, create smart alerts for their own clinical uses, and monetize that data. Because on the other side of our platform, we have pharma and tech companies. And these companies, like I said, they're actively looking for data, which is something that is super hard for them today. But with Agamon, they can get seamless access to the high quality and curated data that they need. And like I said, it's already structured for them, and it's basically ready, available for analysis for these pharma and tech companies, for these healthcare innovators. And so that's basically the solution. On the one side, the healthcare organizations, on the other side, the pharma and tech companies. And a little bit about the business model is such that the pharma and tech companies are basically paying for access to data, and we are sharing that revenue with the healthcare organization that the data originated from. So this is, we're creating this ecosystem where for everybody it's basically a win-win. So the benefits for the healthcare providers, once the data is structured, they're able to perform search and advanced analytics on their own data, something that has been a little bit harder for them today. They can improve quality of care because once the data is structured, you can structure smart alerts or create these clinical decision support tools to improve the quality of care inside your organization. they are helping to advance medical research. So there are a lot of these healthcare providers themselves are conducting research to advance advance healthcare, and now they're able to do it in a much more easier way for them. And like I said, because of the business model, our platform is basically a revenue generator for these organizations. The benefits for the healthcare innovators, I think it's obvious. Let's touch upon this quickly. But so it's large and labeled data sets, structured and ready available for analysis. It's a much more cost-effective and quick access for them, because a process that used to take months now can take. So now we're at a point where it's weeks. Hopefully, in the near future, it would be minutes. And it's access to advanced tools and just high curated and quality data. So our mission is to empower the healthcare ecosystem to seamlessly unlock the value of their data. And when we use this data, we would be able to lower patient treatment costs and to raise the quality of care. I want to touch upon two programs that we've recently been through, or still are. So the Oracle Global Startup Ecosystem that we were accepted to. So it's 5 companies. This program is based in Tel Aviv. We're one out of the 5 selected from, I think, 500 applicants. This program has been a huge help for us, both in our brand recognition and partnering with these organizations. Oracle is a brand name, well known in the whole world, and we've basically we can enhance our brand by partnering with Oracle, and basically we're getting access to their customer base. Obviously, with their approval, we're trying to help out their customers be more successful in their businesses. And they invited us to speak at the Oracle Open World Conference in San Francisco this month, 22nd till 25th of October. We'll be there. If you happen to be there, come by and say hi. Michal, my co-founder and the CEO of our company, would be speaking in a few panels. And Oracle has been just a tremendous help to us. And also the Bayer Accelerator Program, the global program of Bayer, which is based in Berlin. 6 companies were selected. We're one of them out of 1,800 applicants, I think, from all around the world. Bayer has granted us some money, and besides that, they've been a tremendous help for us. We've got a great mentor who's been helping us on a daily basis. They are helping us with the business model, with the tech, with access to their own data, and the collaboration with them. For us, it advanced our abilities and our commercial abilities really significantly. And I'll be there in 2 weeks. And it's a 3-month program, sorry. And Bayer, well, it's one of the largest pharma companies in the world. For us to be able to say that we're working with Bayer is obviously a huge leap for us. So that is Agamon, and those are the challenges and the opportunities that we see. If you are an innovator, a machine learning company, a pharma executive, and you need data, please contact us. We'd be more than happy to help facilitate your needs. And that's it. Thomas?
Yeah, here I am. Thank you very much. Yeah. We are now checking some, don't worry, because the viewers we are seeing here are just on YouTube, not in ISON. So because we have there are some questions and comments, and I would like to ask, for example, Samantha is asking, how are the patients monetized? Finally, it's their data. Can you tell something about this, or is it because you showed like it's the hospital who is kind of like incentivized, and how about the patients?
So this is actually how we started. Our first business model, our first idea a year and a half ago was actually to have the patient in the loop, and for the patient to be part of this whole ecosystem and to benefit also out of this. We found through extensive customer discovery and customer research that most people just won't do what's necessary to do. If it's to download an app or to register somewhere or to do something about this, most people just won't do that, and that's really unfortunate. So as we see it, we decided to. So there are a few companies, blockchain companies, that are trying to do that, and I wish them all the best of the luck, really. But it's really hard to engage the end user, the patient, inside this ecosystem, because when it comes down to the single individual, the incentive is just not high enough. But how we see it is that through this platform and through this ecosystem, the patients gain from the advance in medical research. The patients gain from the fact that their own hospital has more money, and most of these organizations, hospitals, at the end of the day, they also want the benefit of their own patients. So it will trickle down back to the patient eventually. Just, to monetize it on a single record basis, the incentive is just not high enough.
Absolutely. No, perfect.
Also, I would that, like, being a lawyer, I need to put on my lawyer hat for a minute. Once the data is anonymized, the data is no longer the patient. It's just data.
Sure. Yeah. Perfect. Thanks. Because we have some other interesting questions. I think is, for example, Chris wanted to know: is there a re-import of the hospital data? I imagine possible.
Can you ask that again?
You showed that the hospital delivers data to you. You make magic, and then is the possibility to give this data back? Because some hospitals, I imagine, have a mess in their data, and you could cleansing, because he writes you are cleansing all the data, could be of great value for your customers.
Of course, that's part of what we do. I'm sorry if that wasn't clear, but definitely the data from the hospital, the data that we clean and structure, goes back to the hospital and they can use it. And what we've seen is actually that the hospitals also want to use more data. So their own data is sometimes not enough, and they would actually like access to other hospitals' data. And that's where the hospital actually becomes the innovator, and they're on both sides of our platform. But yeah, obviously the data that was originated from the hospital goes back to them.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I didn't realize this either. So yeah, I think this is even a great value for the hospital, not monetizing the data, but even getting more data back, and then being one of the innovators as well, and not just providing data for innovators. Yeah, that's great.
Of course, yeah, that's exactly part of our value proposition.
Okay, cool. And then it was like, how many criteria do you offer to select from, and you provide a data set or access to your system? So I imagine, Derek, if I understand correctly, he wants to know, the system you just showed the print screen. I imagine there are a lot of criteria to select from. Now I'm talking for the other side, for a pharma company, for example. They say we are looking exactly for this kind of data. or this kind of data sets. And I imagine that you can select from, and then you will get like a data set provided, no?
Yeah, for sure. Once the data is structured, you can filter it by age, by gender, by modality, by whatever type of filter that's out there. So yeah, the data. So for now, it's not just access on our website. You would have to contact me or my other colleagues, and we can facilitate that right now. But yeah, hopefully in the very near future, it's going to be a seamless plug and play kind of website that anybody can go on to and play with data.
Cool. Yeah, I think I hope I summarized like some of the questions. Yeah, thanks for the participants for questioning, and we anyway are going to like provide the replay of this, the contact information of Rotem for sure as well, because absolutely I think this is a great project you're working on. And a little side story, I didn't know that you were part of Grants for Apps, which is our sponsor for Helvetia this year. So this is like a really coincidence, but shows as well, because we are reached out to really innovative people, projects, and that's a great match. So that you don't think not Rotem, but our participants, like we have to take now companies from the Grants for Apps, not at all, but they're perfect. Yeah. Go Grants for
Yeah,
Apps. Yes,
it's a wonderful program for us. It's a wonderful program.
absolutely. You see, Alin is writing.
Yes,
Thanks,
I see.
Alin.
Hi, Ellen. Thank you, and Eugene and Sebastian and everybody.
Absolutely. Yes, I have to say the same. You know, it's fantastic that the support they provide to us. And thanks, Rotem. We have to switch to the next session. Hope you enjoyed it. Wishing you great luck having another call now, and all the best. And yeah, talk to you soon again.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks. Bye bye.